Marvel Legends Eternals. Bobby here, Manus80. I know this is kind of late. I did want to wait for the movie to come out so I can drop some spoilers and get a better feel of who these casts of characters are. So, you've been warned. Spoiler warning. Eternals movie spoilers are in this video. I will talk about a couple of these characters' arcs and just how this movie pushed the Marvel Cinematic Universe forward. Albeit, I think it nudged it. It didn't push it and blow it wide open. I mean, unless introducing godlike beings here and celestials and the creation of the universe and how celestials are born and what's next, pushing it forward, then sure, we pushed it forward. But, you know, how about that end credit scene? Dane Whitman, Blade, very exciting, cool stuff. All right. One more thing, you know, this movie, these figures has just kind of split the fandom. I wouldn't even say split. I think it leans more towards negative. Get the F out of here with that crap. You know, if you're mad that this cast is a nice bunch of, just a diverse cast of people of different races and backgrounds, dumb. If because Fastus is a homosexual character, get out of here. Who cares? Dumb. None of that pushes the narrative forward. And I know your argument could be like, then why have it? But, you know, people being straight and white doesn't necessarily push narratives forward either. So, you know, I'm all for everyone loving each other and everybody just let people live their lives. That's all I'm going to say about that. You know, I don't want to get too controversial and dissect, you know, why so-and-so is Asian, why so-and-so is black, why so-and-so is, you know, Pakistani. Who cares? Who cares? If you've been on my channel, I've done Thena, I've done Crow. They're here to show some support for the rest of this cast. What I do know is I think these are a good looking bunch of figures. I know a lot of people don't think that. But I think the way, you know, especially Icarus, I love Icarus a lot. The plastic feels good. It feels smooth. The designs, the sculpt work, the line work, the paint, the sheen, all of that stuff. Plus the face prints, I think are really good on a lot of these characters. I think SHF might have Kingo beat, or Marvel Legends Kingo beat. You know, I see it. I think his hair needs to be bigger and his eyebrows need to be black. But it is what it is. All right, how am I going to do this? I guess we'll just dive in on a character and just talk about their arc and go from there. So before diving in, I did want to point out Ajak is a Walmart exclusive. I found her at downtown Disney. So that was interesting. Thena was there as well. So it seems like 2 exclusives are also being distributed to the Disney stores. I forgot the name of the store in Anaheim, California. I'm sure they're over there in Florida as well. Interesting, you know, I wonder if Hasbro is going to start shipping exclusive figures to the Disney parks in addition to whatever store they strike a deal with. So, Ajak, not necessarily part of this group. I'm not necessarily pulling her out, and doesn't mean I won't talk about her. But the rest of the group is what you need to build Gilgamesh. So, Icarus is the double pack. You will not get a Build-A-Figure piece with Icarus. He is a fantastic figure, and I'm, you know, before even diving into his details, I highly recommend him. But to build Gilgamesh, this is our Build-A-Figure. Yes, I know it's a standard figure, but, you know, they did what they had to do to get all the characters out at once. I understand that, and I appreciate that. Kind of like Mantis. So, get everybody out all at once. Boom. Sersi, Kingo, Fastus, Makari, Sprite, Druid all come with pieces to build Gilgamesh. All right, now let's dive in. All right, Sersi, Gemma Chan, second appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As you know, she was also in Captain Marvel, excuse me, as the character whose name is slipping my mind. Remind me in the comments. I'm sure I'll remember as soon as I'm editing this. She didn't necessarily get a figure, but her Minerva. But her character did get a comic head, or very just inaccurate head with Captain Marvel, and you can put the head on that. Boom. I'll put a picture here. But cool. This looks good. Gemma Chan is a beautiful, beautiful woman, and they did an okay job capturing that. I don't think it's terrible, you know, but it is what it is here. You can see her beauty marks on her lips, on her chin. Fantastic. Nice, you know, tiny bit of pink there on the cheeks. Good work. Look at the line work. Look at the green on the plastic, man. This is what I'm talking about. You know, appreciate what went into the designs of not the full design itself, but what Hasbro did to capture the color and the sheen and the vibrance of these costumes. It's awesome. You know, the line work. The only thing we know, what we do know, is this type of plastic typically comes with those little swirly lines. I mean, so I guess this black, no, it's like on both sides, but it doesn't seem natural. So there's better examples out there, and I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, as expected, a lot of the backsides of these characters do not have painted details. So some characters, I guess Icarus would be a good example. Nice gold lines painted all throughout the front of the character, but then you get to the back and, you know, they did some and they stopped about a little less than halfway. Understandably so, it's the back of the character. But let's focus on Sersi. So Sersi in the movie is dating Dane Whitman, who later goes on in the Marvel Comics to become the Black Knight. However, after credit scenes in this movie do hint that he is on the same character arc in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I thought it was great for them to include him. It was a nice way to plant a seed and have us remember this character for future installments, which I think is going to take us to a darker part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The voice off screen, if you've seen the movie, again, remember there's spoilers in this video, so get out of here if you haven't seen the film. Even if you're waiting for it to be on Disney Plus, just be surprised. Unless you've been spoiled elsewhere, then whatever. Or you're a glutton for punishment, stick around. But the voice off screen who says, "Are you sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?" I'm paraphrasing, was Mahershala Ali. So I think on the set, he doesn't know that it was meant to be Blade. But now, you know, the characters know Blade was speaking to him, which is interesting. Given that they're in London and that Moon Knight looks like it's taking place in London as well. So I think we're going to see a darker side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe taking place in that side of the world, which is exciting, you know. So who else and who can join these three if they do team up? But, you know, vampires and you know, I don't know. The sky's the limit. That's not why I'm here. Let's talk about the figure. So, coming hot off the heels of, or hot before the heels, depending on where you're at. I know Target has a street date of January 1st for the Spider-Man No Way Home line, but the Shriek figure there does have advancements in the female body's articulation, being like bicep cuts, which I think we've seen before. You know, I'm thinking back to like Guardians of the Galaxy box set, or the old Moonstone body, I think has bicep cut. I don't know if it does have double jointed elbows. I don't think so. But of course, these figures do not have double jointed elbows or bicep cuts. I also think it's the right choice, given that it would break up the design of the armor. Everybody here's arms, female-wise, have some nice designs on their arms. So a bicep cut just wouldn't work. Double jointed elbows, I can't defend the lack of that. But it is what it is. But let me stop derailing myself and focus back on the figure. So we'll start with our articulation. I just want to see her head sculpt. Sorry, her head peg. Awesome, which we've seen this type of dumbbell. We have seen this type of dumbbell joint on Marvel Cinematic Universe figures since Black Widow, and I think it's great. Neck doesn't seem too long. I think her head sits pretty well, all right. You know, maybe it's a little long, but I don't think it looks too bad with her hair. We got this windswept type of hair. Look at the sculpting detail there. That is nice. Kind of like a sloppy little bun hanging over there. Excuse me. And then as for the rest of the figure, I think the screen looks nice. I think the line work looks nice. That looks awesome. Sersi does become the leader, I don't want to say unofficial leader, but, you know, she just becomes kind of the leader of the Eternals due to Ajak passing away in the film. So we'll talk about that story arc. As mentioned, she's dating Dane Whitman, and it looks like Sprite is hanging out with her in London, doing their thing. Early on in the film, very early on in the film, we see how Sprite hates the form she was given, which is that of a child. I think in the comics, it's a little different. I think it's a chosen thing, but, you know, she wishes she could be grown up or not. So I think this is awesome. So this is a big piece that comes down and then is also like this skirt-like piece. So does that mean, like, yeah, this is like a skin over what would be the female body there. I don't want to break it, but you can see there's a dumbbell joint in there, but it works well. Look at that. So you don't see what we usually see, where the thighs connect to the bottom half of the figure, basically that part. It looks nice and gives for, you know, it's nice to see some seamless type of work and design go into an action figure like that. This is very clever. I like this this piece. It will hinder your articulation though, but Sersi isn't necessarily too athletic of a character. But I think even if you wanted her on her knees or something like that, what is that? It would be difficult getting her, excuse me, into those positions. You can see the figure is pinless all throughout, but she does have double jointed knees. You do still get your thigh cut. You basically get your standard female Marvel Legends articulation there. But yeah, the figure itself I think is fantastic. Looks good. All figures do come with alternate hands, and 2 figures do come with alternate portraits. So she does come with these gesturing hands or spell-like hands, and she does come with these other expressive hands, which is this kind of a spell delivering type hand and a fisted hand. Awesome. Good looking figure for a very beautiful actress. And Sprite herself, interesting. I mean, I'm thinking of how many child figures we have. This might be, right? Let me know, remind me. This is the first child figure we have in the cinematic universe. And I would just want to say in general, right? I don't think we've received a child action figure in Marvel Legends ever. I mean, Franklin Richards was more of an accessory, but I mean, let's argue. She's younger. The reason why I'm bringing this up is I know she's younger than, like, you know, comic book Miles Morales. And we've gotten that figure, Kid Nova, young Peter Parker in both single pack and 2-pack with Vulture at Walmart. But she might be the youngest. I think this character is, I mean, the actress at the time was 12 years old, maybe even younger. So it was interesting. I was interested in how the heck were they going to use her in sequels, if at all. So at the end of the movie, Sersi has some power left over from stopping this deviant, this celestial from being born out of Earth. So basically in the center of Earth is Tiamat, and that's how celestials are born. They're in the planet, and people's lives as they grow and die and all that stuff give the energy needed for the celestials to be born. And when they're born, they destroy the whole galaxy, and with that power, they're able to make new galaxies and new planets. So the Eternals, at least the majority of them here, have fallen in love with Earth. I wouldn't say fallen in love, but, you know, they appreciate humanity and do not want to see the destruction of Earth. But Sersi was able to turn a deviant into a tree, and because of that, Phastos was able to create, what did they call it? The hive mind? So they were able to link up all their powers plus Tiamat's powers, who is the Eternal in, the Celestial in the planet. She was able to freeze him. So now at somewhere in the world, there's like a hand coming out of the ocean plus half a head of a Celestial. So that's just now a landmark on the MCU's Earth. She did have power left over and asked her to turn her human because Sprite is struggling. You know, she's wondering why the heck did Aramish, who is the Celestial who makes the Eternals, why did they make her in this form? Why is she in this childlike form? You know, and being 7,000 years old, she wants to go out. She wants to date. She wants what Sersi has. Literally, like, she wanted Icarus, but she also wants that life to be able to grow and maybe have a family someday and fall in love. You can't do that when you're 12 or younger, you know. There's laws, first of all, and it's wrong. So this character did have some more depth than I thought it would. Her powers being kind of illusions. So she's able to create illusions, and she does, you know, in the earlier times on the planet, that's how she tells stories, and she's able to like project these illusions and these effects and all that stuff, which coincidentally inspires Kingo back there, Kumail Nanjiani, to become a Bollywood actor. So Sprite here again, maybe remind me, let me know in the comments, first child figure in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel Legends line itself. Awesome. More windswept stuff. So let's, I want to keep count on this windswept stuff. So the hair's blowing this way, and then this is blowing this way. So they're blowing in the same direction. I just want to see if anything else is blowing in the same direction as well when we come to these other figures. This face is nice, man. This looks like the young actress. I forget her name, excuse me. But yeah, looks awesome. The blues here are fantastic as well. Look at that line work. She has way more line work than Sersi does. And it looks great. Silvers and this light blue, this turquoise, I'd even go as far as to say. that, the sheen. Look at the way the light is just reflecting off of that. These two pieces, yes. Again, we get that type of thing with Sersi where it's kind of a piece over the body. It's like a skin draped over it. However, it doesn't go as low, so you do see where the legs connect, and you do get, you know, unhindered articulation there. She, like the other female figures in this line, comes with standard female Marvel Legend articulation. These are deeper cuts similar to Black Series figures, so you will get a little bit or a lot of bit more range on your bends. Sersi's though, not so much, right? Not as long. So yeah, these type of cuts in the arms are similar to Black Series, which do seem to go further out, which allow for a greater bend. She does come with extra hands. She comes with 2 little fisted hands, tiny little hands, with some very long pegs. The Eternals. Why did they make her in this form? Why is she in this childlike form? You know? And being 7,000 years old, she wants to go out. She wants to date. She wants what Sersi has. Literally, like, she wanted Icarus. But she also wants that life to be able to grow and maybe have a family someday and fall in love. You can't do that when you're 12 or younger, you know. There's laws, first of all, and it's wrong. So this character did have some more depth than I thought it would. Her powers being kind of illusions. So she's able to create illusions, and she does, you know, in the earlier times on the planet, that's how she tells stories, and she's able to like project these illusions and these effects and all that stuff, which coincidentally inspires Kingo back there, Kumail Nanjiani, to become a Bollywood actor. So, Sprite here, again, maybe, remind me, let me know in the comments, first child figure in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel Legends line itself. Awesome, more windswept stuff. So let's, I want to keep count on this windswept stuff. So the hair's blowing this way, and then this is blowing this way, so they're blowing in the same direction. I just want to see if anything else is blowing in the same direction as well when we come to these other figures. This face is nice, man. This looks like the young actress. I forget her name, excuse me. But yeah, looks awesome. The blues here are fantastic as well. Look at that line work. She has way more line work than Sersi does. And it looks great. Silvers and this light blue, this turquoise, I'd even go as far as to say. Look at that, the sheen. Look at the way the light is just reflecting off of that. These two pieces, yes. Again, we get that type of thing with Sersi where it's kind of a piece over the body. It's like a skin draped over it. However, it doesn't go as low, so you do see where the legs connect, and you do get, you know, unhindered articulation there. She, like the other female figures in this line, comes with standard female Marvel Legend articulation. These are deeper cuts similar to Black Series figures, so you will get a little bit or a lot of bit more range on your bends. Sersi's though, not so much, right? Not as long. So yeah, these type of cuts in the arms are similar to Black Series, which do seem to go further out, which allow for a greater bend. She does come with extra hands. She comes with 2 little fisted hands, tiny little hands, with some very long pegs. These splayed out hands are nice and allow you to pose her for casting her illusions, that type of stuff. So if she does come back, she doesn't have powers, and she's, oh, look at that. I just broke her arm. She is human now and is able to grow, so that solves that, you know. But I don't know if she has her powers anymore. So, you know, was she turned human, and is she just a human with eternal powers? That wasn't necessarily answered. And it looks like she's kind of going to be hanging out with either Kingo or Sersi. I couldn't tell. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want anything to do with Sersi too much anymore. I mean, maybe, but maybe not. She's kind of been hanging around her for some time. But yeah, looks awesome. Pinless all throughout this wave. So I'll try not to bring that up too often again. Do want to, what was I going to say? I do want to reflect back on the face sculpt. I think it's really good. Cute kid. Freckles. Red hair. This could have used, I was going to say a wash, but it looks like there are some highlights, and it works pretty well. Nice highlights throughout her hair. Pretty cool, man. Not necessarily my favorite, but, you know, I think they did this character and the actress some justice in her action figure. Amazing. I do want to jump out of the traditional Marvel Legends wave setup and talk about Ajak here. So Salma Hayek famously at this point, infamously, basically took a shit on her Marvel Legend action figure, making fun of how her neck was. However, I think if you adjust it, it can look fine, you know, but in the package, it is definitely, look at that, ridiculous. So due to the type of ball it's on, you're able to just kind of push it back and it looks fine. You know, it looks fine. The neck is a little long. I think this part is what's a little too long. You know, if it was a little shorter, awesome. But it does come with the same plastic dumbbell. And she does come with an alternate portrait, which I don't think when she wore, I could be wrong. But I was going to say, I don't think when she wore this outfit, she necessarily didn't have the crown piece on. So Ajak is the leader of the Eternals. She has the ability to speak to Aramish, and when she passes away, she has this little orb that comes out and goes into Sersi, who then she is able to speak to Aramish. Ajak is one of the Eternals. So eventually the divide comes from when Icarus, like Kingo, and I think that is it. And Sprite, excuse me, these three right here, feel that they need to fulfill their duty in bringing the Celestial that's inside Earth to completion. Basically let it be born, destroying the planet. The rest of the Eternals are not down with that. Yeah, so Ajak is killed in the film by Icarus. Again, he just feels like he's doing his duty. He doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. Kingo necessarily doesn't feel that's wrong either. I mean, he believes in Ajak. Excuse me, he believes in Icarus and will follow Icarus. However, he does have love for the rest of the Eternals and will not fight them for his beliefs. So he does leave before the final battle of the film, which is kind of a chicken shit thing, but also admirable that he loves his family so much. You know, we see that now with political division within our families and friends, whatever. Ajak, though, played by Salma Hayek, is you know, I thought we'd see more of her, and it's crazy. I mean, and we know that the Eternals are technically, they're not robots, but they're built, and there can be a lot of them. So anybody who passed away in this film can come back as a different version of themselves. I don't necessarily think that means they'll have the same memories or be the same character. So someone like Icarus, who coincidentally flew into the sun on purpose, though, may come back. And I hope he does, because I think that's a fantastic character. This character is a Walmart exclusive, but again, I found mine in Downtown Disney. Thena was there as well. However, I picked her up at Target. So those of you with a Disney pass may be able to get some discount. I don't know if it's 10, 15, 20, 30%. I don't know. I don't remember. But I was happy to find this figure because I don't really go to Walmart. I think the likeness is all right. Again, I think Salma Hayek was being a little bit too harsh. This isn't Hot Toys Salma Hayek. So for the $20 price point, I think Hasbro did okay. So not necessarily the most exciting of figures as well. You know, seeing how in the trailer, like Gilgamesh beats some ass, Icarus beats some ass. You kind of want to pose him that stuff. This is just kind of there. You know, you could have her standing there. Nice blues, nice golds. Again, this type of skin, type of skirt piece that drapes over the female body there is nice. And it provides some seamless, you know, the silhouette of the figure will look pretty good. She does have a cape. Not a lot of these Eternals have capes. We saw one on Sprite. Here's one on Ajak, and it looks all right. It is windswept, but it is going in the opposite direction that we pointed out Sersi's hair and Sprite's little cape. This one wants to rest a little crooked, so I can't get her body. As mentioned, no bicep cut, no double jointed elbows. Again, on no female figures in this line. The cut isn't as deep as Sprite's, so you can see you do get only that far of range. I do have fisted hands on her, but she does also come with magical-like hands, splayed out hands, or gesturing hands, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, we have a Salma Hayek action figure. That's crazy. You know, I would have thought we would have gotten some Dust for Dawn or any of the El Mariachi type of characters before we would have gotten this. Or maybe there is one. I don't know. I'm rambling. I don't have much else to say. Standard female articulation. No Build-A-Figure part because she is an exclusive. So that's that. I'm interested in why both Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie, who were probably the more high-profile characters, got exclusive figures away from the wave. And that's probably why, right? Hasbro figured these two actresses would sell figures or could sell figures on their own. Top of the crown, for those wondering. I just saw and then I thought, what would that look like inside? All right, that was Ajak. All right, guys, I'm going to actually split this video in two parts. It's long, and I don't know if Eternals has that, you know, oomph to grab your attention. So thank you for watching part 1. I'll come back with part 2 tomorrow. And yeah, for those of you who do watch, I mean, if you're not watching, you can't hear this, but I thank you. So again, part 2 tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your views, your likes, your comments.